Welcome to qnawire.
All right, in this problem, we are going to select 10 people, and we want to find out what the probability that so many of them will fill one prescription, or two prescriptions, or three, or four. So the best thing to do is to organize what you know. And in this case, we're talking about numbers of prescriptions. And we know the probability associated with them as well. And the probability of filling one prescription is 0.5. The probability of filling two prescriptions is 0.3. The probability of someone walking in and filling three prescriptions was 0.15. And the probability of filling four prescriptions was 0.05. And again, in this particular problem, we are going to select 10 individuals. And we want to know what's the probability that 3 of them out of those 10 will fill one prescription. So we're going to call that X1. We want 3 people to fill one prescription. We are looking for the probability that 3 people will also fill 2 prescriptions. We're going to call that X2. And 2 people will fill 3 prescriptions. We're going to call that X sub 3. And 2 will have 4 prescriptions filled. So we're going to call that X sub 4. And notice that the X1 plus X2 plus X3 plus X4 totals up to your N. And also notice that when you add up all of the probabilities, they total up to 1. That's very important to make sure that you've got all the information. So this is a multinomial probability. So we are going to need the multinomial probability formula, which reads P of X equals n factorial. And in this case, there are 4 events, so we're going to have X sub 1 factorial multiplied by X sub 2 factorial multiplied by X sub 3 factorial multiplied by X sub 4 factorial. And then that fraction is going to be multiplied by the corresponding probabilities. So we're going to have P sub 1 raised to the X sub 1 power multiplied by P sub 2 raised to the X sub 2 power multiplied by P sub 3 raised to the X sub 3 power multiplied by P sub 4 raised to the X sub 4 power. So we have our information, we have our formula, so let's substitute in. So the probability of selecting 10 people with the following breakdown: 3 of them selected filled one prescription, 3 of them filled 2, 2 of them filled 3, and 2 of them filled 4, would then be 10 factorial, because our n value was 10, over 3 factorial times 3 factorial times 2 factorial times 2 factorial multiplied by 0.5 raised to the 3rd power. So the 0.5 was here, that's your P1, raised to the X1 power, multiplied by 0.3 raised to the 3rd power. So the P2, or the second event, was a probability of 0.3 raised to the X sub 2 power. Then we multiply it by 0.15 raised to the second power, because this is the probability of the third event, and this is how many we were seeking, and we multiply that by 0.05 raised to the second power, because this was the probability of the fourth event, and this is how many we were seeking. We would then put all of that into your calculator, and if you do, you should get a probability of 0.0048.